Donald Trump. We don't deserve him.
Trump had all the power in the show that takes an hour. Donald Trump sat down for an interview with 60 Minutes for the first time in 5 years, and I wonder if they asked him what he hoped to accomplish in the next 3 years.
What do you hope to accomplish in the next 3 years?
Well, I hope I can have the same year that we had. Look, we have been acknowledged to have the greatest 9 months. You know, it's 9 months. The greatest 9 months in the history of the presidency. So if I can keep that going, I'll be very happy.
You know, I think he's underselling it. That's always been his problem. Not enough confidence. They also asked about the DOJ's cases against Trump's old foes. Comey, John Bolton, Letitia James. Weren't they all recently indicted?
James Comey, John Bolton, Letitia James were all recently indicted. There's a pattern to these names. They're all public figures who have publicly denounced you. Is it political retribution?
You know what? You know who got indicted? The man you're looking at. I got indicted, and I was innocent. And here I am because I was able to beat all of the nonsense that was thrown at me. And yet, when you go after a dirty cop like Comey, or a guy like Bolton, who I hear has, I don't know anything about it. I hear he took records all over the place, who knows? Letitia James is a terrible, dishonest person, in my opinion.
No objections here. He should have, though. He should have said, what has 2 thumbs and's been indicted? We then learned that Mr. P doesn't like being compared to Democratic Socialist Zohran Mamdani, but he is a communist, not socialist.
He's the
communist, not socialist, communist. He's far worse than a socialist.
Some people have compared him to a left-wing version of you, charismatic, breaking the old rules. What do you think about that?
Well, I think I'm a much better looking person than him, right?
Kennedy, there you got it. The introduction of the some people.
Yeah, some
Is there like a
people.
planet where all the some people live
Yeah.
and they just say the things that the reporter is too scared to say?
One of the most famous instances of that is one of my all-time favorites. And it was when Diane Sawyer sat down with Lisa Marie Presley and Michael Jackson. And she was like, some people are saying you two don't have intercourse. Is there anything you'd like to address to some people who would say something so awful, Michael and Lisa Marie? And they're like, yeah, we're boning all the time. Like, it's amazing. So I was trying to figure out why he was going back on 60 Minutes.
Yeah.
Because he was really upset with them for, you know, when he's been on in the past with Leslie Stahl, and obviously the selective editing of the Kamala Harris interview that, you know, it appeared like 60 Minutes was trying to tip the scales in her favor. And so I was like, man, he must need a new wing of the Trump Presidential Library, because the last time he had a 60 Minutes head-on collision, they had to donate $16 million to his presidential library for the Kamala editing fiasco.
Yes.
So, and he knew Norah O'Donnell is not going to be like, you know, it's not like she's a turning point leader at her alma mater. You know, she's part of the liberal opposition. So he was hoping that she would either say something that would put her in legal jeopardy, or that they would just run screaming.
It felt to me like one of those victim-offender mediation things that they do with restorative.
Oh, I'm sorry, I've never been part of one of those. Let me guess, you were the victim.
Yes, I was, as always. Jamie, some people say that you're not talented.
Okay, I feel like I've met a lot of those people.
What did you make of his attitude? Like, coming out of the box there.
Yeah.
He was like a cross between Joe Pesci and Robert De Niro. He's like, ugh. He was like, it seemed like he had flipped the tables on the media, and they now have to be on their toes.
Yeah, and he comes in on the defense for good reason because of what he's experienced. And I was confused because the show is called 60 Minutes, and they only aired 27 minutes of that interview, and there's even like a clock in the corner.
Yeah.
They could have looked at. That would be like if they had a show called The View and there was nothing to look at. But I get it. I do understand showing people only the parts you want them to see. That's why I wear a T-shirt in the swimming pool. But it's this part they cut out the thing about the lawsuit
Right.
with CBS. They cut out when they asked him, like, will you run for a third term? I would have liked to see that stuff. I'm curious why they cut that stuff out. By the way, when I was being born, a lot of people thought I didn't deserve a third term.
A little abortion humor there. Everybody loves that stuff. Actually, it was a pro-life joke. Kat, what say you? Do you like it? Do you like the way he handles 60 Minutes?
Well, no, he does he does many people are saying, right?
Yes.
Or the use of the passive voice where he said, we have been acknowledged as having the best 9 months.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that he does this stuff because he just for the love of the game.
Yeah.
Like he likes being on television. He wants to be on TV, and he you know, he's quick when he's like, oh, you like Zoran Mondampi? He's like, oh, I'm better looking. But I think that there actually are a lot of comparisons between the two of their campaigns because nobody ever thought that Trump was going to be elected president. And, you know, he just constantly was online, on Twitter and on social media, and he was kind of memeable and people were into it. But I mean, what's he going to do when he's not president anymore? Like, truly, he's going to have to find some other reasons to be interviewed every day, all day, because this is...
Trump, exclamation point, after Gutfeld. Yeah.
I mean, they do have a lot in common.
Yeah.
They're both the spawn of very wealthy parents whose families have massive multi-million-dollar compounds. So,
Yeah.
you know, maybe there's more to this comparison than I thought.
Tom, you have quite the grin on that little scary face of yours. Hate to wake up to that. Jeez. That over your bed.
There are so many good clips in this interview, and you selected some of them, but there was other gems in there as well. My favorite one in the whole interview was when she asked him about his latest pardon, and it was this crypto guy. I didn't know about this crypto guy, but apparently she read all the things he was accused of, and she said, why do you pardon him? And he said, ready for this? I have no idea who he is. He said his sons are into crypto. He says, my sons are really into crypto, but I'm too busy to, I have no idea who he is. But, you know, people said that it was, that he was railroaded. So he pardoned him.
Yeah.
So he just gave that is my favorite answer ever. He will just say up until this time, my favorite thing he ever did was when he was at the deposition for the E. Jean Carroll.
Yes.
And she read the Access Hollywood. We all know what he said on that tape because they played it ad nauseum. She read his quote, and then she said, did you say that? And he said, historically, that's true. And then my favorite part, he said, unfortunately, or fortunately.
Yes. It never gets any more fun every day.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.